my lovelies, welcome to the channel. So today we've got a video that I'm very excited about, and this is an enemies to lovers book recs video. Figured this would be great for spooky season because enemies just feels Halloween-y to me. So I thought, what better video for spooky season than people hate each other and try to murder each other, because that fits the Halloween-y vibe for me. So we've got 10 books today. We've got 3 different categories that these books fall into. The first one is just like they dislike each other or they hate each other, but it's not like I'm trying to kill you hatred. The next tier is kind of murderous hatred. It's maybe you tried to kill each other once or twice, but then that's it, and then you kind of coexist together and you hate each other and you've maybe taken violent steps, but it's not super murderous yet, right? And then the third tier is they're actively trying to kill each other repeatedly. This is the tier that I have really been liking lately, and one of the books that falls into this tier was one of my most recent favorites. So I'm so excited to talk about all of these. And I think also if you're wanting to get into enemies to lovers books, this video is a great place to start because it has all the different levels that these enemies could fall into. So if you're looking to kind of dip your toe into enemies to lovers, then there's something here for you. If you're a little bit experienced, you want something maybe a little bit darker, there's something here for you as well. And then if you're wanting to see people try to kill each other, I've got that for you as well. So let's get right into it, shall we? Hi all, it's Editing Sydney here. I just wanted to preface this entire video before we get into the recs by saying that a lot of these books are quite dark. I forgot to include a trigger warning for these here, but I think with every single book on this list, because it is enemies to lovers, because a lot of these books have trauma that happens to the main characters and just trauma and horrible things in general, I would definitely check triggers for everything on this list if you have them, because most of these are dark, or they do have some darker themes, or some of the characters have gone through something, and so I would definitely check your triggers for these books if they sound a little bit darker. So definitely check them if you have them. The first one in this list, this one is a sequel, but you can definitely read it on its own, and that is Barbarian Alien by Ruby Dixon. The whole plot of the Ice Planet Barbarians universe is that these women are kidnapped from Earth. They are taken by these aliens and they are on their way to being sold, but the plane goes down and they get stranded on this ice planet. So we see a character in book 1 find her mate, and then in book 2 it kind of picks up in the middle of the first book, and they explain everything that's happened in the first book, so you can definitely go into this one without reading it, but obviously you'll get a lot more fleshed out of a story if you read book 1 as well. But this one follows Liz, and she is one of the women that is kidnapped from Earth. So when we see her, she is with the other women. They have been found and saved by the aliens that live on the planet, and she meets this one alien named Rahosh. And he is very creepy, he's very grumpy, he is kind of rude. He's a little bit scary looking as well because he's got scars all over his face, and he's also just really weird around the women, like he doesn't exactly know how to act. And so she immediately is like, oh, I'm not super comfortable around you. And on top of that, you're super grumpy as well. And so I'm just gonna kind of steer clear of you. She doesn't really like him all that much. But Rahosh realizes that Liz is his mate. And because he knows that she doesn't really like him, he decides, I'm gonna kidnap her and I'm gonna take her away to this little cave in the middle of the woods so that she can't leave me and that we're forced to mate so that she can't get taken away from me. So it's not enemies from Rahosh's side of things, but Liz wakes up and she's like, she's in this cave in the middle of nowhere and she has no idea how she's got there. Meanwhile, Rahosh is there and he's like, oh, let's consummate our matage. And so she's quite irritated with him. And it's their love story. My favorite thing about Ice Planet Barbarians as a whole is that it's so adorable throughout. Even though you get a kidnapping plotline with Rahosh and Liz, you see him so obsessed with her from the jump. And even though he's super grumpy, he still through and through is just so obsessed and devoted to her. And he will make sure that she's loved and taken care of no matter what, even though he's a little bit more surly while he's doing it. And his development throughout this was just really, really good. And Liz also, she's a very badass character. She loves to hunt, she loves to fight. Throughout the entire series, she's the bad bitch of the group. She is the one that, if you want to go hunting, you don't go to the men, you go to Liz. They have just a very fun dynamic together, and also the language barrier, because even though he can speak English now, there are so many things that he just doesn't understand about humans in general, but also about Liz, and so seeing them navigate that is really, really adorable. So if you're wanting one with a very grumpy MMC who is just completely gone for his girl, if you want a badass FMC, if you just want a very fun, huge found family universe, because this series is like 20 some odd books and it's all following the same people. If you want to just dive into a universe and really fall in love with the characters in it, I would highly recommend Barbarian Alien, and also just this entire universe, because I think there's something in it for everybody. There's friends to lovers, there's enemies to lovers like this one. There's just a lot of men who just really, really love their women. And that's what this series is as a whole. So I would highly, highly recommend it. It is absolutely incredible. The next one is up there with my favorite books of all time. And I will take any excuse that I can to talk about this book. And that is For the Fans by Nyla K. I love this book so much. As you can probably tell by all the tabs, I love this book inside and out. This one follows Chiron and Avi, and they are stepbrothers, so it's a little bit taboo, but they don't grow up together, so it's not like they're raised believing they're brothers. They're grown when they get together. I think they're like 16 or 17, and so they never ever see each other as stepbrothers. There's not really that line crossed. So Chiron is the golden boy of his school. He's the quarterback, he's blonde, he's popular, he's got it all going for him. Meanwhile, Avi is on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. He is an artist, he is a stoner, he's not popular at all. He's very much like a loner skater boy type. And they just clash immediately. They fight constantly, they hate each other, and then they graduate high school. They no longer have to be in the same school together, but they're stuck together for the summer. They fight, they clash even more. And then Chiron announces, oh, I'm going to college. I'm getting away, finally. I can live in the dorm. I don't have to be in the same place as Avi anymore. I can finally escape. Until Avi says, oh, I'm actually going to the same college that you are, because they have such an incredible art program. I need to go there. And so they are then forced together again at the same college, and they still hate each other. But then they are forced to work together because their family loses all of its money, and they need to find some way to pay for their schooling. And so Avi has something going on the side that is making him some money, and the friend that does the same thing as him is like, oh, why don't we do collaboration with another person, another guy? And they choose Chiron because Chiron needs some money, and they're like, oh, you guys already have a lot of tension together. I think it would come across really good on camera doing what they're doing. So they invite Chiron, they make a ton of money, and Chiron and Avi are like, okay, we hate each other, we don't want to do this, but we need the money, the fans love us, so why don't we do this to help us stay in school and to keep us afloat? And they do, and then things go from there. I love this book. This is one of my favorite books ever. The best thing by a mile about this book, and I have a tab for it specifically, is Chiron's growth. He, at the beginning of the book, is kind of horrible. Chiron at the beginning is a character that you kind of hate. He's really, really mean. He bullies Avi quite a bit. You just really don't like him. And throughout this book and throughout their romance, you see Chiron's walls start to come down a little bit with Avi, and you see him start to kind of rediscover the self that he pushed down and that he didn't let himself be. And it's also a lot to do with his sexuality. He is extremely straight, and he has never let himself think otherwise. And then dipping his toe into that side of him with Avi, it makes him really confused, and it really throws a wrench into everything that he's built for his life and his mindset. And so we see him really struggle with that, and then we also just see him come to terms with who he actually is, and it is really, really beautiful to read. And this starts off as an enemies to lovers romance, but then it turns into something so beautiful, and it turns into something so soft. I really hope that if you take anything away from this video, it's this book. Please read it. It's a favorite of mine. I love it very much. This book is everything to me, so please read it. And if you do, I hope you love it. The next book is Pestilence by loathe. It's a 4-book series and it follows the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. So we get pestilence, we get war, we get famine, and then we get death. So Pestilence is the first brother. They are sent by God to come down to Earth and kill off humanity. We have destroyed the planet, and so God has decided that humans need to go and that everything needs to reset. And so Pestilence is the first brother to come down, and he starts killing everybody. And he gets to Sarah's town, and she is a firefighter, I think, and she decides, I'm gonna kill him. So she tries, and she fails. Instead of killing her, Pestilence, for some reason, decides to take her along with him. And so this follows them. She really does not like this guy, and that gets worse because he takes her along for every single kill that he does, and she has no way of stopping him because he is one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. He is incredibly powerful, and she can do nothing to stop him. But along the way, he starts showing her softer sides of himself, and she starts getting under his skin a little bit, and it's about them falling in love. This one I found was just really surprisingly fun, even though it dealt with definitely darker topics. Pestilence was definitely the standout in this book for me. He was just adorable, and he was so clueless because he never really interacted with humans before he'd only killed them. So he was so clueless when it came to interactions with Sarah, and whenever he felt anything fond towards her, he was like, oh my gosh, I'm in love with her. He had just only read and heard about love, and so anytime he made her smile or anything, he was like, oh my god, this is love. I need to marry her. And he proposed to her repeatedly because he was like, no, she's the one. She made me smile. That's it. So it was just adorable. And if you need even more reason to pick this book up, there is a scene when he crawls to her. Enough said. That's it. Pick up this book just for that. But this was really good, and I also think that this is a really good book if you're trying to get out of a slump. I was in a very bad one when I picked this book up, and it pulled me right out of it. So if you want something just cute and fun, and also if you want a series that you can just fall in love with very grumpy and also just asshole MMCs who completely change and become better for their women, Pestilence by loathe. And just this 4 Horsemen series in general, it is very, very good, and I would highly recommend it. Hi my lovelies, I'm wearing different attire. I'm editing Sydney. I realized I forgot to include a book, and I would just put this at the end, but it is a mid-category book, so I couldn't. So, sorry for the jump scare. But this book is Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman, and this one follows Cora, and she hates her sister's fiance, Dean. They have known each other for around 10 years, I want to say. The entire time that they've known each other, she has never really liked him. He always picks on her, just like pokes at her, calls her names that she doesn't really like, and just drives her nuts, basically. And she makes it very well known that she does not like this man. But Dean just loves playing with her. He just loves driving her crazy. One night, Cora is out at a bar and her wallet gets stolen. She tries calling everybody that she knows. She can't call a cab because she doesn't have any money. So the only person left that she can call is Dean. And he picks up right away and he's like, what can I do? How can I help you? She's like, I don't have a ride home. I need you to come pick me up from this bar. And so he comes and gets her. And then while they're driving home, they get pulled over and they get abducted. When they wake up, they are in this basement. They're chained up. And they go through some horrible, horrible things. And their captor wants to torment them, but he also wants to play with them a little bit and make them do things with each other that really alters their relationship forever. This just follows them while they're in captivity together and how their relationship changes under the circumstances. And you see Cora start to realize that Dean isn't actually so bad and that he is the only thing really keeping her together in this situation. Let me just say, this book is very dark. You see a lot of stuff happen to both Cora and Dean, and it is not easy to read. So definitely check your triggers before you read this because it is dark and it is not something that's gonna be readable by everybody. So definitely check your triggers, protect your peace. But this one is just really good because you see them both go through something so horrible together, and for a majority of it, Cora still really dislikes Dean. You see them eventually start to lean on each other and just, they bond so traumatically. It is 100% a trauma bond, but then they grow together and It is a really beautiful and heartbreaking story, but again, it is very heartbreaking and it is very dark. So if you want a book where the enemies kind of escape the pits of hell together, I think this is the one I would recommend, because they go through something really, really horrible together and it bonds them forever. And so if you want something like that, I would definitely recommend Still Beating. Okay, back to the video. Editing sent me out. This next one is Desire in His Blood by Zoe Draven, and this one follows Gemma, and her family is in a ton of debt. She works really hard to pull her family out of it, but it gets to the point where her father's gambling is just too bad. He has dug them into way too deep of a hole, and there's nothing that she can do. So Gemma, as a last-ditch effort, she asks around, she's like, what can I do to get myself out of this situation? She hears that there is a very powerful and very wealthy man that is looking for a wife, and so she agrees. But then she finds out that this man that she has agreed to marry is a Kylor, which, as you can see by the cover, he's very scary looking. They're very ruthless creatures. They can go berserk and lose complete control of themselves and just destroy and maim and kill. They're very ferocious and they're very terrifying, and she has just decided to marry one. And to make matters worse, the Kylor need blood to survive, and part of her duty as a wife to her Kylor husband, his name is Azur, but part of her duties to him is that she kind of needs to be like a blood bride as well. So if he's ever hungry, he needs to feed on her. And he makes it very well known that that is all that she is to him. She is just a blood bag, basically, and he's treating her as such, and he wants her to just submit to him and just bend to his every will. And he's not nice to her at all, and so she really hates him. They hate each other. Then he feeds for the first time, and he realizes, holy shit, she is my blood mate. I am so screwed. I was planning on hating this woman, but I can't, because she is the one who I am destined to be with for my whole life. And it goes from there. Azur has a very good reason for hating Gemma and wanting to make her really miserable. So what this book did so well is just his development and his journey of seeing somebody who is so deeply rooted in their hatred, finally seeing Gemma for who she is and falling in love with that, and just seeing him kind of crumble towards the end, and how consumed he was by her and by his feelings. This is the book that made me realize that I really like vampire romance. So I would definitely recommend this one. It is really, really good. And honestly, in my opinion, this series just gets better and better. The next book is absolutely incredible, and then the book after that, it just rips your heart out. And so if you're looking for a series following brothers that you will just fall in love with all of the characters, definitely recommend this one. It is really, really good. Next one is Garen Park by Nordica Knight, and this one is an romance, and this follows Devin and Maddox, and they have hated each other their entire lives. They cannot escape each other. They both live in the same trailer park, they both do motocross, and they face off against each other constantly, and their brothers are also the very best of friends, so they are always seeing each other. But one night, Devin is in danger. He got attacked by his father, and he is genuinely concerned that his father is going to kill him, and so he goes searching for his brother at Maddox's trailer. He doesn't find his brother, he only finds Maddox. And Maddox, seeing the fear in Devin's face, is like, come in, I'll take care of you, I'll keep you safe, whatever. Maddox nurses him back to health. He takes care of him, and he knows that Devin isn't going to be safe going out, so they spend the night together in Maddox's bed. And it is so good. This is a really good book, and it's a series as well. You get 2 books following Maddox and Devin, and then you also get a book following their brothers, Nate and Zavi, and it is an extremely good book. In this book, they really hate each other, and even when they're together, they still beat the crap out of each other. They are very violent towards each other. They fight constantly, and that does not go away when they get together. The thing that I love most about this is Maddox is so head over heels for Devin, and Devin is very lonely and he's very scared, and he is kind of unsure about life and about himself and just everything. And so he needs somebody like Maddox to really take the reins in his life and just say, I am here for you, I am your protector, I will keep you safe. And that is exactly what Maddox does. Once they get past their hatred, they are so all about each other, and they just love and care and take care of each other. And it is a really beautiful thing to read, because these are two very broken people. They both have a lot of trauma. They kind of put each other's pieces back together. And so if you are looking for something where they really do hate each other and they just are very broken and they put each other back together, I would definitely recommend Garen Park. It is really good. And then after you get through Garen Park and Lot 62, you get something a lot lighter and fluffier in Knock Knock to kind of close it all out. And so this is a very good trilogy, and I would really, really recommend it. The next one is On Wings of Blood by Briar Berlin, and this one follows Medra, and she is half fae, half human, and she fights a war in her world. She wins the war, she gets knocked out, and then she wakes up and she is in a completely different realm, and she is trapped in this burned building that is just all stone, and there are dead bodies all around her, and she wakes up and there are all of these soldiers in front of her. They see something in her and they think that she is some special being, and so they take her back to their headquarters where their council resides. The council sees her and they're like, you are a dragon rider. You are the last of your kind, and so you are stuck here. We are not letting you go. You have to be bonded to somebody that is close to the council. So I'm gonna bond you to my nephew, Blake. From what she has seen so far of Blake, he is very ruthless. He killed someone right in front of her while she was being rescued. So she really does not want to be bonded to him, but they are bound in blood, and he does not want to be bound to her either because he is already in an arrangement with somebody else, and now they have become kind of like a triad, and he does not want that. He does not want any part of Medra whatsoever. He just wants her to kind of disappear. He wants her to die, and at one point he does send somebody to kill her. So these two really do not like each other. This follows Medra as she kind of navigates being bonded to Blake, who is a vampire. Just her in the school that they both go to, and her trying to figure out a way to get rid of Blake and not be bound to him anymore. Now, the best thing about this, in my opinion, is Blake. He, from the outside, is somebody who looks like an asshole. He is the nephew to somebody very powerful who is not a very good person. It looks like Blake is a part of that corruptness and that evil that his uncle is a part of, but in actuality, he is very soft. And once that initial attempt on Medra's life, and she survives, and he starts to get to know her, he becomes very soft for her, and he protects her a lot. She doesn't see any of this, but he is just very gone for her. And this whole world is written very well. It has got quite a bit of lore. It also has a really good friendship dynamic. So if you are looking for something that has a very fun group of people to follow, it also has an MMC who is very soft just for his girl, a badass FMC, I would definitely recommend this one. It is very good. The next one, this is the start of our actively trying to murder each other and deep-rooted hatred and I despise you and I want you dead section. And that is Lord of Bones by Aidan Pierce. And this one follows Raven, and she is a grave robber, and she is caught one night robbing the wrong person's grave. She has robbed this woman's grave, and then Death himself emerges from her grave, kills her boyfriend, and then decides, I'm gonna take you down to Limbo, and you're gonna be my new pet, and you're gonna be stuck with me, and I am going to torture you and make your life absolutely miserable because you have robbed the wrong person's grave, and I'm going to make your life hell now. And so that's what he does. He brings her down to Limbo, he treats her like garbage, and she is absolutely miserable, and she's like, I'm not going to take this. There has to be a way out of here. And he's like, okay, I'll give you 3 days. If you can break out of here in 3 days, I'll let you go, and I'll bring you back to the surface. But as she is fighting to escape, and as she has interactions with him, she realizes that there is a part of her that does not want to leave Limbo after all. If you are wanting a fun enemies to lovers monster romance, this is it. He is a piece of garbage at the beginning. He is not a good person, but you see him grow throughout, and you see him really fall in love with Raven and become completely obsessed with her. It's just really good. It's not something super emotional, but it is really, really fun. If you are wanting a book where the FMC needs to go on a journey to escape something horrible, but then actually ends up falling in love with the monster that she is trying to escape from. And if you want a monster who starts off really, really terrible, and then as he falls in love, he becomes a big old softie for his woman, Lord of Bones. It is extremely good, and I don't really hear anybody talking about this, so start. It's really good, and it's a duology. So, Lord of Bones. I would definitely check this one out. It's really, really good. We are on to the last one. And this one, I cannot wait to talk about this one. I just read it recently, and it is a new favorite of mine for sure. And this is The Poisoner by Ivy Ophelia. This, if you want a book where they are trying to murder each other pretty much non-stop, this is it. I put this at the end because this is the most murderous book between the love interests that I have ever read in my entire life, and it was absolutely incredible. The Poisoner follows Alina. She is a botanist, but she also makes poisons, and so she's a vigilante of sorts. She finds people who are really horrible, who are also escaping the police's radar, and she slips them a little bit of poison, and oh no, they've wound up dead. One night she's at a party, and she notices a man, and he is drinking the blood from a woman's neck, and she decides, okay, you are my new target. And so she stalks him, and he also sees her. He is a vampire, and he decides, okay, I'm gonna play with my food a little bit here. I'm gonna stalk her too. So they stalk each other. Throughout this mutual stalking, she repeatedly tries to kill him over and over again. She stabs him with all different kinds of poison. She hits him in the head with, I think, an axe, and he, I think, throws her down a flight of stairs. Like, they are violent towards each other. And he goes into all of their interactions being like, okay, you know, I've had my fun, I'm gonna kill her now. But eventually he shows up to her house one day and he's like, you know what? I don't think I want to kill her anymore. I think I want to keep her. This book is absolutely incredible. It will hook you from the first page. It was enemies to lovers perfection. It was violent, but it was somehow funny in the violence, and he was such an entertaining character to read. This just was so perfect. This is just everything that you could want from an enemies to lovers. It has the banter, it has the back and forth, and then also you get to see Silas, who is the main guy. You get to see his obsession with her and with killing her slowly change into an obsession with just her and every single aspect of herself. And the stalking turns into just wanting to be around her and just loving every single aspect of her. And there is a scene where she has him on his knees begging for her. It was just absolute perfection. And if you are wanting something with tension, with true enemies to lovers, with attempted murder repeatedly, this is the one. This is honestly the perfect book to end this video out on because it is everything that you could ask for in a violent enemies to lovers. And it was just so fun and perfect, and I could not recommend this book more. So that is all of the books for this video. I have a lot of books in here that I really, really love, and I hope that you pick them up. I hope that you love them too. Let me know down below if you've read any of these, and if you haven't, if you're going to. Also, what your favorite enemies to lovers book is. I would love to find some more. I hope that this video helped you find a book that you're excited to read. I hope that you pick any of these up and that you love them as much as I do. But thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you staying till the end if you have, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, my lovelies.